Hello and welcome to my review of The Mule. Clint Eastwood returns to the director's chair and the main spotlight of yet another film. This time is about a man who delivers drugs for cartels. It just so happens that this driver, or mule, is an old, ancient, racist florist that never really liked his family. The kind of guy you cheer for, right? I will state now that this film is not worth your time. You never have a reason to care for Clint Eastwood's character throughout the film. He's a florist, like I said, which is a fine career path, and I find lots of enjoyment when talking to florists and how they do certain, decorations and how they get it all together. It's very fascinating how they put certain flowers with each other's to match them really well, and all that's really interesting. But for a Clint Eastwood character in a cartel movie, it doesn't really work out at all. The main problem with Eastwood's character is that he disappears for like 12 to 17 years. It's kind of how the film portrays it. There's like a time, a couple years, you see in one scene, and then like way more years. And so it's kind of confusing if it's 12 or 17. But anyway, he's like gone for like all those years, not really there. He misses baptisms, graduations, weddings, not bar mitzvahs, but just like a bunch of things in life for his family that he just doesn't see, doesn't go to. And why? The movie makes us think that either gardening or gardening conventions is what gets him like occupied, and just him schmoozing with people and just like having a good time. And I'm supposed to feel empathy for this guy later in the film. I don't at all. And another problem is, like, he's racist, like, cringe, uncomfortably racist. Like, maybe there's supposed to be, like, a joke about how he's old and racist, but it's not there. It's just uncomfortable. I could come up with a way cooler film. A cooler film would be a Clint Eastwood character that, over the span of, like, either 30 to 40, 50 years, was a mule for the cartel. And, like, you start with run number one when he's, like, 20, 30, 40, making money for his family, and then goes throughout his life getting a couple different actors or like makeup to eventually get him to Clint Eastwood's age, where he's on like run 1000 or something fun like that. And that was why he never spent time with his family. That would be an excuse in the audience's eyes that he's trying to get money to make his family like live a better life, but missing a lot of stuff. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword there. That would have been a way better movie. But instead we get this weird 80-year-old that just randomly starts working with the cartel because YOLO, and does so well that he gets invited to the cartel's main headquarters in Mexico from Illinois, and then hangs out with the main head honcho, like the leader, and parties and bangs lots of women, like Mexican cartel hooker women. Yay. Which, first off, his run is like very long. It starts somewhere in the south and goes all the way to Illinois. And I'd be suspicious of that kind of guy doing that kind of trip all the time. Dang. Near the end of the film, Clint Eastwood's character, ex-wife, dies. And it's supposed to be played off as very sad, very touching. But here's the problem. Like I said, Clint Eastwood has been with hookers. And it's not just that one time. It's been multiple times, and the movie alludes to him constantly doing it ever since he's getting cartel money. And so I'm like, you're really enjoying those other women, which I guess if you're in an open relationship, it's fine. But the emotional bit at the end kind of makes me feel like it was, I don't know, they thought it'd be funny if Clint Eastwood would be banging women all the time, and then they're like, oh, we need a touching scene. Flip, and then they're like, oh honey, like, God, I just feel bad for you, I'm sorry you're dying and stuff, that sucks. But the death scene in itself is just so cringe and so bad. I'd rather see like King Harold's death from Shrek 2 like 10 times in a row, 20 times in a row, than watch this death scene again in The Mule. It's just it's oh god, it's so bad. It's so bad. Bradley Cooper and Lawrence Fishburne in this film, and they play DEA agents, and I'm not really buying it. They just kind of act like it's a bad CSI episode that they're guest appearing in. Oh, and like speaking of CSI, I swear like the CSI TV show had more action than this film. This film about drug cartels has a drug cartel takeover, has bikers, has veterans, has DEA drug busts, all these things happening. There's one gunshot in like anger or like meant to harm. There's gunshots, but it's a guy shooting clay pigeons, so that doesn't count. There's one gunshot of violence. And then there's a scuffle off camera that doesn't make sense at all of why it happened. Like, it was played up as going to be, and then there's a scene where, like, oh, yeah, he's fine. And the next scene, he's all bloodied up again. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. So there's, like, hardly any violence. It's R for language and a pair of tits. That's it. And there's just random character disappearances and, like, their arcs that had been kind of set up just disappear. Just dust in the wind, just gone. This film is just an entire disappointment of a film. This film isn't good, and after the 1517 to Paris, it really makes me question Clint Eastwood's ability to direct and act. Maybe just pick one. Like, there's no shame in not being able to do both. It's hard to do, I bet. I bet it's really fracking hard to do. But just pick one and see what happens. Because I don't want The Mule to be Clint Eastwood's last ride. I give this film a solid 4 out of 10. It's just, it's not worth it. It's not worth your time. But that's it for me. Do you guys disagree or agree with me? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like what you see, give it a like. If you really like what you see, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next one.